Hello, everybody, and welcome to your AEW Dynamite review for was this St. Patrick's Day Smash. I am Jeff, and I do not have a co-host today. It is just me. There's nobody in the other screen. Even though you see the belt, it's
The champ is here, baby. Let's get it. You know who it is.
oh god.
Go ahead, you don't know.
Sorry, guys.
Come on.
I tried to get rid of him, but
You ain't on my level, man. You ain't on my level.
don't
Champ.
worry. All out is all done. Taha. That's what I'm calling it. All done. All done with your title reign. I'm
Is
a
anyone transitional champion?
Okay.
Like tonight, someone else who retains their title, I will too. Remember that.
Only one person retained their title tonight. One person did not.
And that's who I am.
Oh, by the way, everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
I hope you enjoy our very fun, festive St. Patrick's Day setup here. I get bored often. So I found some green bricks and then I put some lucky clovers. So this is going to be our lucky podcast. We're going to be able to we're going to get 100 views off of this one, from 5 to 100.
That'd be great.
Is huge.
That'd be great.
Also, there will be a Rampage review. It's just very late right now.
I don't even think I finished. I watched it but didn't watch it, so I couldn't even do it. I was feeling like crap on Friday, and my kids have been sick all week, so it's been a blast. As you can see, so am I. Still sick. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. To all of our 5 viewers, hopefully it gets to 50,000 views.
But it's 5 consistent, man. It's consistent. Consistency is key, and I will say we fell off a bit this week. Dynamite we did, but we did not do Rampage or Dark. Did you do Dark Elevation?
There was nothing really to talk about, so I kind of I watched it. I watched all of it.
But he watched it, but he didn't put a fucking thing up.
No, I didn't get to put the thing up.
I didn't put any news out either, and there's been a lot of news. So
there's been a ton of news, man. We missed some news.
I'm just gonna do like a news mega show. Like literally when we get done this.
I watched Dark and Dark Elevation. And
I might just do that and Rampage real quick from last week. And
there's nothing really to
you guys are just gonna get all the videos
to pop off. I mean, I can go through real quick. I have my list, and I can just pop off real quick after this and just do another video.
I'm just gonna shoot off a bunch of videos later anyway, because
maybe after this one, what I'll do is in between watching the NCAA tournament and all that, I will pop off the Dark Elevation review show. But as usual, there wasn't really much to talk about. It could be a quick 5-minute video. This is why we have it up.
Yeah. 5-10 minutes. People have short fuses. Their brain don't work more than like 2 minutes.
Well, then speaking of that, since you all have short fuses, let's get into this show real quick. How's that then, Jeff?
Look at that.
The first time in a while, we didn't start off with like people in the ring. We actually started off with intros.
Like full intros.
Full intros.
That means it's like an episode that isn't going to be like super squeezed together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be something more along the lines of like, all right, we can like slowly work through a couple stories.
Yeah, I also think they wanted,
and that's what they did.
Pop for that Adam Cole, baby.
You do want the Adam Cole pop. You want the Adam Page pop. Like they both have, they both have a hell of a lot of momentum, especially with them being, champion challenger at the moment. So what you got out of that was a hell of a trios match. And as much as it pains JR to say the word trios and not 3-way match, or he superiorly hates trios, but you have to understand they're saying trios, JR, because that's going to be a division. It's not going to be called the threesome division. That's
going to be called
weird.
The trios division.
Trios.
And it'll be coming up in the near future is our assumptions. Like I still think the plans for Cody Rhodes are crap, and he will be taking over Ring of Honor. You're not going to see him fighting Seth Rollins, but that's beside the point. That's more for your news story. So there we go. Here, as Magnet over there himself is drinking his
CM Punk
cup of
Magnet Punk
cup of coffee. And for the Jungle Boy took the loss here,
which was very unusual for him to do. But to Adam Cole, it's okay. It doesn't hurt him to take that loss. And It was more for Excalibur and for to put over that when Adam Cole does the boom with his knee pad down, people don't kick out because he obviously messed up, got excited, and did the boom at the pay-per-view without pulling his knee pad down. Hence, that's why Hangman was able to kick out. So they wanted to put across that if he gets that knee pad down, he can end anybody, including Hangman Adam Page. So,
but it wasn't on Hangman Adam Page.
no, you don't want to pin. You don't pin your champions. This is not WWE. You don't pin.
Well,
your
they did. They
champ.
pinned the tag team champions.
It's okay because he's Adam Cole. But
Maybe.
you don't pin the guy you're challenging. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Because then it just seems silly. Like, okay, well, why didn't he do that last week at the pay-per-view?
Well, they did. They did the week before. Adam Cole beat Adam Page in that trios match.
Did he pin Adam Page?
He pinned Page.
Oh yeah, because that's how you knew that Page wasn't, or that's how you knew that he wasn't going to win at the.
Yeah, they had it before they did the WWE thing because Thunder Rosa beat Britt Baker, so Thunder Rosa did not win the title at the pay-per-view, but then had another match tonight in a steel cage. I mean,
it was Hell in a Cell.
It was a steel cage cell mix. It was quite interesting.
It was Texas Hell.
We'll get to that. So Adam Cole and Red Dragon win. I think the W here. We jumped to it was a great match. I think it was O'Reilly held Page back from getting the save.
Yes.
I didn't see Luchasaurus anywhere.
No. For being a giant dinosaur, he was not there. You can see him for a little bit. I loved the triple moonsault that was pulled off by
the triple moonsault was
Page, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. Like for them being big fellas, like 2 out of 3.
And the best is
above.
Luchasaurus was flat-footed, like off of the ring apron. Like Page's was like half up on the turnbuckle, and then Jungle Boy, if I remember correctly, was on the top of the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
But it was poetry in motion. They hit those like literally in sync. Like the flips were in sync. It was beautiful. It was quite a sight to see from them.
Yeah, it was a hella good match to start it off. It was fiery. It was it was that nice. It was a perfect match you haven't seen in a long time. Like when you put, I think Hangman needs to be involved more in matches before pay-per-views. Like he was literally not wrestling. Like, and I think that's what would kind of like killed his run initially. Like we love Adam Page, but if he doesn't wrestle more than once a month, it's strange. Like even Kenny as a heel would lace it up like twice a month and fight.
He still wasn't wrestling in the very beginning. He wasn't wrestling that much.
Yeah, but I think that they need to put them on more. You need to.
I agree.
Well, there goes a copyright edit. All about the boom.
No, it's not 30 seconds. It has to be 30-second clip. You're fine. No, I agree. I mean, and that's where they've turned that around. Since he's defending that title against Cole, he has been on the show every week, either defending or at least making an appearance, defending or fighting. Sorry, not defending. He's been fighting ever since he fought Dante Martin. They had the trios match this week.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. It puts him over better because I believe people forget how absolutely fantastic that Adam Page, my fault, is.
I agree. They've got to showcase their champions more. You don't see them fighting as often.
The tag titles are. I feel like they're always up for grabs, which is fun.
Yeah, they're always fighting. Like again, so far the back-to-back weeks we've seen the tag champs and we've seen the AEW World Champ fighting. So it's good to see like you get them fighting more often. I said the same with the women's champ. You don't see her fighting as often. But maybe we'll see a difference. I don't know.
Now that you have a different fighter. Next up, we had Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Keith Lee backstage. And they're arguing.
Not fight. To not put hands on each other.
No.
That was the agreement.
Yes. They with after last week with the I believe it was on Rampage when
it was a spine
Hobbs
buster.
Got Keith Lee with a hell of a spine buster. I was surprised at how good it looked. And it was really good.
He lifted him up and spun him.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
I'm like tremendously becoming more and more impressed with Powerhouse Hobbs.
He's,
Like I
he's
enjoy him in the ring more and more every time he gets in there.
every time
Like
he fights, it's another guy you
he's
don't
just
see fight
good.
often, but he
He's
puts
just
on he can put on a
really
show.
good at what he does. That
Uh-huh.
was definitely a good find by AEW. But yeah, so they did their whole spiel there. And then before the match, we see
Well, Keith Lee said to him, because they said don't show up on my
I'm
show
gonna
again, and he goes, "I'll see you Friday."
right. He
Like,
said I'm gonna punch you in the face like a bitch or something like that.
something like like I
Yeah,
did like I did the pay per view or last Friday when I punched you like a bitch and you just sat
yeah.
there.
And he's
That
like,
was
oh,
great. That was a great
he
line.
did. He did.
And then it looks like Statlander's turning.
I think Statlander. I think that this feud with Layla Hirsch has really gotten her um in a new mode, and I
Are we
believe you're
losing
going to
the alien?
see a serious Statlander, no alien gimmick. I feel like they're trying to start like everybody loves Statlander, and I think and her wrestling is great.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to pull some of this out and make them more of a like if she's going to be a title contender, maybe you don't want to see the title on the alien, but you might want to put it on Chris Statlander, hell of a wrestler with normal thing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And
So
I agree. I mean, she's
and I think with
not a
this
wrestler.
Layla Hirsch fuse, basically she shook her out of this ha funny gimmick, and now it's like it's all fun and games is over. She took the contact out, she wiped off her makeup, and basically it's going to be go time from here on out for
There's going
Chris
to
Statlander.
be a new Statlander with or without the best friends. I mean, we'll see.
If best friends
Um,
/ chaos are everywhere, so
I mean,
everywhere.
we're seeing some friction
They got to
or
move things around.
dissent.
You can't stay stagnant with everything so much. So it's
No,
if you're
I
going to
agree.
move it around, you move it around,
I agree. It'll
which
be
I'm
great to
okay with.
see. And then speaking of the best friends, we actually get into a match where
With the wow, chicky wow,
with
best
the
friends,
Regal Boys, as I called them,
the Regal Boys. Some
and
people calling
what'd
them
you
the
call them?
gentlemen.
You called
I'm
them what
still calling them the violent technicians. It's
the
still
Violent
my
Technicians. That's it.
thought.
The Violent
So
Technicians took on the Best Friends, and this was and the Best Friends, as in it was not Chuck Taylor and Trent, it
no,
was Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta.
yeah, with
But
Orange, Trent, and Danhausen all at ringside.
this was intentional
Hmm.
because they wanted to showcase Yuta. That was the only and sole purpose of this. And they did that. I mean, first off, they put a whooping on both of them
Woo.
for majority of this match.
Yeah,
And then
these
Yuta
guys
came back.
strike.
Yuta fought back and did what he had to do. And Chuck Taylor did a little bit. He had a little bit of offense. But
Yeah,
it was mainly Wheeler Yuta they were showcasing. You hear Regal on the mic say that he wanted to be slapped or hit back from Moxley or Bryan Danielson, and he didn't get that. And then I don't know if they were calling Yuta to the ring. So obviously, Violent Technicians win.
yeah. They it's just a
Um,
pretty easy win. This time it was Moxley with the bulldog choke.
it was a blow choke
He
on Yuta.
yes on Yuta
But Yuta
and
has, again, a lot of offense before that, showing he
mhm.
has that grit. He has that violent technician type of showcase within him. And then they all disappear. William Regal walks down to the ring. They're walking away, and Yuta stops and turns around
Yeah.
and gets in the ring and puts his hand out for Regal, which I was confused about. But he puts his hand out.
I don't know if like I felt like it was like a he wanted to kind of like I don't there's two ways you can take this, right? So either it's he just wanted to show his respect for someone like William Regal who mentioned him like that he could be one of these big stars that that under the right tutelage can go to the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Or he really was like, please take me, because he looked back at the best friends and looked back to the violent technicians, and it's like he was thinking like I'm going to pick sides. Like, do I want to
Yeah.
be part of the group with a guy who keeps his hands in his pockets, another guy who's very nice, very evil? Like,
And they
Do I
get
want to
choked
be
out by
with those
Chris
strange
Statlander on
fellas? Like
VP.
this is look like a walking circus back here, or can I go get serious with these dudes who just want to kick ass and win titles?
At this
Because
point,
if you pull a Yuta, then that's your trios. That's a solid
well,
trios championship.
so at this point, when I saw Yuta, I was hoping, I know, I was hoping or something. I was hoping for Claudio's music to hit and him take out Yuta. That was my hope in
I
all
still
of
think
that.
that's still one of my choices. Is like that's who the third, like their third is going to be. Is
I think
because
it is.
when
I'm hoping it
I was
is.
listening to the Talk is
Not
Jericho
that AEW
yesterday.
can afford another friggin' roster member, but
Yeah, but I was the Talk is Jericho was on yesterday. It was the one with William Regal, and he said the three guys that I worked like the most with and like are closest with is Moxley, Danielson, and Claudio.
yeah.
So if you were to pull that, and shit, if you got Claudio in there with them too,
Whew.
no one's beating that just strictly just wrestling
I mean,
team.
that's a trio for a
That's a Hall
decade.
of
I mean,
Famers. That's a Hall of Fame trio.
you name any other trio, and I'm sorry. Like, listen, the Bucks and Kenny, they are great wrestlers.
But then I want to
They're
see
great
that though.
wrestlers. But those three, I'm sorry, I'm picking those three.
But see, that's a great thing about though. That's what I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
see
That's something I want to see.
Claudio, Moxley, Danielson versus Kenny in the Bucks. I want to
Or
see them
against
against
Red Dragon
Cole
and
and
Adam
Red
Cole.
Dragon. Like
Like
those. That sounds
Christian
even any
Cage
pick
and
members of Dark
Jurassic
Order.
Express.
Yeah. Yes. Jurassic Express with Christian.
The House
Give
of
me
Black. Like,
right.
give me those against these three
They're
guys any
creating
day.
so many trios now that you know there has to be trios titles coming because it's just these factions have so many good 3-packs of wrestlers that you're like, I no longer just want to see a tag team. I want to see all three.
Yeah, I do.
Like I want like that today. The trios match that started. It was exactly what you're looking for. Is like it's just pure entertainment watching these guys go at it.
I mean, again, I would love Yuta to like be under their tutelage, but I
Yeah.
still think Claudio and those two together would be phenomenal. And then so he gets in the ring and Regal slaps the
slaps the shit out of him.
like so hard,
Hardcore.
and like he gets in his face. I thought he was gonna hit him back because they really talked on commentary about how he wanted to be hit back, but
Yes.
Yuta didn't back down. Excuse me, he jumped in his face like, "Bitch, I'm gonna take you out," and I don't know what was said. There were words said. There was mouths being read that I couldn't read. I don't know if he was like, back up now. Like,
It
yes,
sounded like he was saying like,
I may have hit you.
I was trying to like hear him, and he was saying like, "Not yet, boy. Like, go back and figure your shit out." Kind of like you're not
Like,
quite there, but come back later, and I bet you we have an answer for you. Like
I was like,
something like that.
something was there and something was being said, but all in all, it was a great match, and we have great expectations for what Yuta can bring to the table, as well as who the third member of the Violent Technicians will be.
Yes.
Then we had Jazz.
Then we moved on to something completely different.
We moved on to
went
Jazz.
from wrestlers
We
to
went
sports
on
entertainers.
We moved to the sports entertainment group. That's what we moved into, and everyone makes sense here, but Daniel Garcia.
Yes.
I love his reasoning, but he doesn't make sense here. You have all ex-WWE guys. You literally have a ton in that locker room. You could have thrown a Tony Nese in there. I don't care. Like, he ain't doing anything. You could have thrown anybody else into this group that was an ex-WWE guy for the sports entertainer. Daniel Garcia is, in my opinion, a phenomenal technician and not a sports entertainer as much. But I guess that's the play here. That was my only.
I absolutely love this thing.
I love Jazz. I mean, I love everything about Jazz. He said we're Jazz.
Stop saying jazz. It's not jazz. There's no one playing a fucking tuba.
No, but they're Jazz. They're Jazz. He said they're Jazz now. I mean,
but I think that you're gonna. I think there's going to be like this is the next boom boom here. This is the next Jericho.
This is the next Jericho
WWE. He has a hit. He has a hit with his sports entertainer gimmick because he is playing off of what basically his gimmick is wrestling Twitter.
Yep.
He takes it and then he puts it in the ring. So everything we see on wrestling Twitter, like the changing of the names So he's saying we're going to use real names here.
Yep.
Like how on Friday,
So Matt Lee and what's his
Friday
face?
they changed
Parker.
Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's name is now
Butch.
Butch. Yes, that's right, Butch. The same thing. He probably named one of your dogs. I bet you at least 5 people. You can probably if you go to 100,
I know
bet you
Butch.
60 people have had a dog named Butch. Okay, my aunt had a dog named Butch. Okay, so this dude went from Pete Dunne to Butch. Okay,
Or
Walter to Gunther. So like,
yeah.
Okay, you're doing too much. Like Ciampa on NXT 2.0 this week was like, he's contemplating his last match basically. So Stand and Deliver, I believe his last match in there is going to be against Tony D. So
Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo. So I think I'm terrified that even though he's been on Raw already,
they're changing his name.
When he goes over, because they already changed his music from the music he had. That music's already changed. Boom, gone. From No One Will Survive to I Will Survive as long as I know how to love. No, it's not that one. But like, so it's going to change. That you just have that feeling that Tommaso Ciampa, the brand, his name's going to be called like Chomp Chomp or something ridiculous. So Chris Jericho goes on to say, first of all, 2.0 is a bad name, or a name given to him by bad creative, and they'll never be using that again. We only use real names here. And then he mentioned his own name, Chris Jericho, which is not his real name. His name is Chris Irving. That's his actual last name. So he's already lying. Come on, Chris. And then what the hell did he named? Okay, so Matt and Jeff Parker are now Daddy Magic Matt.
Yes. Daddy Magic Matt.
Jeff Parker is Cool Hand Ange.
Angelo Parker. Like, it was I was dying at these names.
Like,
I was just dying at these
names. But
names.
like, he's playing into, because at first I was nervous that this thing was going to be called the Jericho Appreciation Society. I was like, that's fucking weird.
And then he said the only reason they came here is because of a good friend, Kevin.
Yes. So, yeah, thanks, Kev. You're going to sign that damn thing, and now you're going to have an interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and get stunned.
A P.S. I would just like to have a quick gripe here. I'm talking to you, Cody Rhodes.
I'm just saying Kevin Owens could have joined Jazz as the other member.
I have a Cody Rhodes error. Cody Rhodes, I'm going to punch you if I see you. I was trying to be nice, and I was starting to come around to your gimmicky crap. But then you tweeted on Monday, look out tonight. So you made me. Yes.
He had to play you. He played you like a fiddle.
He made me watch Raw for 3 godforsaken hours.
And you know why? You know why? Because you fell for it. You know who didn't watch it? This guy. Because you know why? I know he's not going to be there.
But it made too much sense. You're in Jacksonville, motherfucker. You're in Jacksonville.
He's not going to be there.
Oh my God. How much? Do you understand the level of heat? You can cook a whole hot dog with the level of heat.
If he shows up,
if he would have showed up in Jacksonville, the place where his former company was born, and he shows up on Monday Night Raw and says, like, Jacksonville looks better in this place, and like, fuck you. Like, it would have been great. But he didn't, and I wasted 3 hours. There was some bad shit on this show.
You fell for it.
We will never. We will not be reviewing that show. We'll not. No, not today. Good God,
fell for it. I didn't.
Yeah. So back to where we were anyway.
Yes,
sports entertainers are on the map here.
They're the sports entertainers of the world.
Yeah. So they changed some names. Jericho. Hager says we are we're the guys who beat up wrestlers.
That's yes, we beat up pro wrestlers because we are entertainers.
Which means, in my hand, I was watching the Wrestle Talk one a little earlier, the review right before we got on, and they made a good point. The segment before was all about pro wrestling. This segment is all about sports entertainment.
Yep.
When in the future do you get the Jericho Appreciation Society against the Violent Technicians in like the ultimate war between wrestling and sports entertaining?
I'm telling you, man, that's when Claudio makes his appearance.
And that's what I'm saying. Then you have 3 wrestlers against 3 sports.
Well, they have 5. They have a total of 5 in Jazz. So you have to add 2 more. So if you add Yuta, you add Claudio, who is their 5th member to the Violent Technicians. Who would you put in the Violent Technicians?
You could always do Lee Moriarty. Because Lee Moriarty was the other young name, and he's not in anything at the moment. So I think you could put him. Shit, I would. Even though I think more sports entertaining, but like his athleticism and his pure talent is good too. Maybe a Swerve. There's plenty of. I mean, they have plenty of wrestlers
They have a ton
to
of
put
them.
in there. So, but no, they have enough names that they can find a fourth and a fifth real quick to make it like a real.
I just want Claudio.
Real
That's all
thing.
I want. I just
William
want
Regal just going to come out of retirement.
Just give me Claudio and I'll be happy. That's all I'm
I
asking
know you
for.
really want Claudio.
That's all. Listen, give me Claudio and Tyler Breeze. We're set.
Yeah. Up, down, down, side to side.
We are set. So after this, we get into a American
Serena
Top Team
Deeb
match. We get to an MMA
Well, Serena
match.
Deeb first had her little like.
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna kill you.
She's been thinking about Sheeta. Yeah, last week Sheeta said she was going to cut her head off.
Yeah.
That got crazy violent.
So Serena Deeb.
But yeah,
turned around
this is a highlight package
back.
saying like they're going to do this again. Yay. Next up, Ryan's favorite wrestler, Scorpio Sky, was in action.
Who I said was going to be the next TNT champ. So who was right? This guy. That's right. This guy was right. I told you he was going to be next TNT champ. Just like I said I was going to be the next champ. I'm just saying. I said I was going to be the next champ.
How are you the... Oh, no.
I'm the next champ.
Look behind the curtain. We both have this belt.
Dan Lambert. Dan Lambert was wearing the other title, which was hilarious.
That was great. It made sense.
They commented on it. It was just funny. It was a funny thing.
Give it to somebody who needs it. Why not, right? But yeah, so this match was very good. Is Austin Vanderford also signed to AEW, or does he just have to follow Paige Van Zandt wherever she goes?
I think he just follows Paige Van Zandt wherever she goes.
Okay. I mean, he's good.
Well,
I like him.
There last week, I
think he's a good beatdown guy.
He
took a bump. Like I don't think they're taking bumps for free. So if he's not signed, at least they're like paying him for the time he's here.
Well, he wants to be there. He loves pro wrestling, so he enjoys it. We get my man Scorpio Sky taking on Wardlow. Yeah, and like I said, he ain't no transitional champion. He's a champ.
Yeah, it would have been really disrespectful of AEW to let him win that title and then literally like 4 days later, like I know it wasn't 4 days, like, you know what I mean? Like it's such a short time period, like, and it's gone.
Yeah.
But I thought that was tremendous that they're gonna let him keep it. But this was one of the matches where I don't know if the excitement was taken out of it, or I think it was just that you knew what was going to happen. There's no way you were going to let Wardlow just beat him. If you would have kept it on Sammy, then everybody would have been like, oh, wait, is he going to beat Sammy? And if he did, it would have been great. But giving Scorpio this run is fine, but this match didn't really help.
They could have had him beat Scorpio. I mean, they could have screwed Scorpio and him get the title and then MJF come out and go, hey, listen, I own you, so I own that title. You have to give it to me now, and then create the feud from there. They could have done that. So there was that skeptic of, oh, wait, they could do this. But Scorpio Sky was putting up a good fight against him. It wasn't like it was a squash match until he started the Powerbomb Symphony.
Oh, no. Then he started the Powerbomb Symphony, and you thought, okay, it's going to be over. Then we had Sean Spears came down with his chairs, and then then Wardlow makes the rookie mistake. He gets out of the ring to chase him around.
No, he
gets out of the ring with Scorp, right?
He walked out. So Scorpio rolled out the ring, and Wardlow was there. And then that's when Spears came out. So he turns around to go, like the ref was telling Sean Spears to leave. So Wardlow was going to the ring, and MJF pops up from under the ring and smashes Wardlow into the post, which then gave Scorpio opportunity to the secret roll up.
Hit him with the fruit roll up, and then you got 1, 2, 3. Sky. You can keep reaching for the Sky because he is still the champ. After this, it was the ultimate beatdown. Again, we have no CM Punk.
Yeah, no CM Punk came to help out
2 weeks in a row.
I thought he was going to come out because I figure, Wardlow helped him. He was going to help him, but maybe he's still dead from that match.
I think he may have gotten injured during the match a bit because during his the media scuffle afterwards, I was watching the hours and hours of media scuffle they have, and it was CM Punk, and he was like emotional as balls, like he was crying a lot. So I don't know if maybe it was a great match, and this was awesome, but maybe there's something that's going to keep him out for a little bit. I mean, that was a brutal match that they put up. So maybe he did just get hurt, and they said like, "Yo, this isn't WWE. We're not gonna beat you down. If you're hurt,
Take off.
take some weeks. It will be even better because it's CM Punk. So like when his music hits in 3 weeks or something, if that's the case, and he's out for 3 or 4 weeks, and after that after his promo last week, just don't have him on TV. You have enough wrestlers. You're deep enough. You don't need to rely on having CM Punk on your TV every week. You can hold him off and still accomplish everything you need to accomplish in some feuds. Because I still think maybe they're going to hold him off until after after whatever blow off of the Cole Page feud, and you're going to see Punk come out and it's going to be like, because he's going to run for the title. Because MJF is obviously going to be doing this Wardlow thing for a bit. He's the only other guy would push right away to that category. So that's my thought on it. But yeah, good thing. Keep it on Scorp. I wonder who they will have.
And then Austin beat him up. I think Wardlow will eventually get it. I think you're gonna let Scorp run with it for a while.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get that feud closed out, and then you'll give him that one-on-one back with Scorpio, and he'll beat Scorpio, I think, for the title. Is what I think will happen.
Yes.
But he gets beat down by MJF, and he gets punched with the ring, and MJF pays Dan Lambert the money, and they walk off happily ever after, singing and dancing to each other. Yes. Then we get a Jade Cargo promo where she talks about a kiss of death. Well, sorry. So Sterling's talking about the kiss of death, and she's saying, "I don't give a shit who it is." She goes, "If they're even worthy of the kiss of death."
Right. And so that is basically, we're looking to find who is going to take her on at this 30-0.
The way they're playing this out, I feel like we're getting a newcomer to the female division. And I mean, you have Tegan Nox out there still, who's available.
Yes, you have Athena, the AKA Ember Moon.
You have Mia Yim. You have there's some women wrestlers, some very talented women wrestlers that I think AEW needs to add to their already talented roster.
They might have already. Like they said that, a lot of these people are pretty much like to be signed the minute that their thing is up, or like, but they're just waiting to bring them in. Like they did get some talent coming in.
It seemed like they were hinting at who the Kiss of Death.
Kiss of Doom.
Sorry, the Kiss of Doom. Kiss of Death, Kiss of Doom. But like, I feel like the way that they were like promoting the Kiss of Doom tonight on this episode, I feel like it was hinting at somebody, and I'm with my lack of knowledge.
It like 100 times.
Yeah, like I think my lack of knowledge of the indies or of what they've done outside of WWE right now, these three women that I'm talking about, and it may not be these three women, I feel like they're hinting at somebody, and I'm just missing it. Like, completely think that it's going over my head. Maybe
it's going over my head. If it's going over yours, it's going over mine too, brother.
But I feel like they're hinting at somebody.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. Then we had the Hardy Boys debut.
The Hardy Brothers
on Dynamite.
Or the Hardys.
The Hardys. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't use Hardy Boys.
Hardys. The Hardys debuted against Private Party, which is a great match because they basically played off the fact that Private Party has been taught by Matt Hardy, so like they know everything about how their movesets and how to counter them, and they were showing that. I mean, they were definitely showing bits and pieces of that throughout this.
Basically it was a play the hits match where, I mean, the Private Party came together because they loved the Hardys. It was their thing. They were singles wrestlers who loved the Hardy Boys and became a tag team. So I think this was Tony Khan kind of throwing them the bone right off the jump. Like, hey guys, thanks for everything. Here, we're going to give you your dream match against the Hardys the minute that they show up, which was really cool of them to do. So, Isaiah and Mark Quinn had to have been living life knowing that, like, they're finally going to get that dream match against like their idols, even though, I mean, and they've been working with one of their idols for 6-8 months now, but now you're going to get on top of that, you're now getting Jeff added to it. So now you got the full Hardys. But yeah, it was a lot of play the hits. We got some Whisper in the Winds. We got some Twist of Fates. We got he tricked us from a swanton, and it was a splash at first. He tricked us real good. Just became just a regular ass splash. Matt Hardy needs. I love him to death, but Jesus Christmas, he may need Hair Club for Men. It is getting there. That's some thin. You're thin, brother. You're thin. You might have to refigure that out. I
He
don't know if
dyed
it's
so much and he was losing his
all that
hair.
time you dyed your hair for Broken Matt, or when you were doing all that puffing, you might have like destroyed your hair follicles. So we gotta get that taken care of. But otherwise, really fun hit. Really fun hit. It was nothing to be, nothing to choke at there. But it was a good match. It was cool to see them back, and I think you're gonna wind up getting
And we're
a
hitting
little
on a
nostalgia run.
4v4
I don't
match.
think I don't know if you're gonna get titles out of it.
No, I think you maybe, but you're hitting at a 4v4 match because after the match, Butcher and Blade come down, and obviously Andrade, and then Sting and Darby come walking to the ring to save them. I still find this walking to the ring probably the funniest thing in the world. I'm not going to lie to you. I find this hilarious because, like, there's 5 of us. We can still jump you, knock you guys out, wait for these 2 to get here. They're walking to the ring, for Christ's sakes. But I mean, it's just me. I enjoy it though. I know what it is. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, it's strange to see. Like I never will understand that, but of course that's wrestling for you.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, it's wrestling, so it is what it is. But
Yeah.
they come to backups. I think we're gonna get like Butcher, Blade, and Private Party taking on Sting, Darby, Matt, and Jeff. I think what we're gonna get
That'd be
sooner
cool
rather than later.
Because on Rampage you're getting Darby versus Butcher will be the one of the matches there.
So I assume we're gonna see this again, except just Rampage. So it'll be flip flop.
Yeah, a lot of flipping and flopping.
You get
so that was a cool thing, and of course, I guess down the line, maybe you'll get that Sting versus Jeff Hardy rematch that they never got because that was a crazy bad situation.
Yeah.
The last time they met in TNA, that was when Jeff's alcohol use was a little bit too much, and they had to do that quick roll up to call it a day.
Yeah, but Jeff, I'm not saying, but Jeff looks, and he hasn't wrestled in a minute, but he definitely looked off to start the match.
They all looked slow.
Yeah.
Matt and Jeff look like they don't look like 1998 Matt and Jeff. So
no, they definitely looked slow moving. Like they were very rusty. It seemed.
I think with Jeff though, he has to start to compile like the skill set that.
But they were just wrestling this weekend against.
Well, they need to start getting those reps in because I think it's just like there's going to be this is a different style of wrestling than you were dealing with. It's not the 5-minute hit the side effect, twist of fate, swanton, call it a day every match. These matches are not going to go 3-minute squash, call it a day. It's going to be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a lot of these. So I think that's the difference. And I think that's something that Jeff just has to acclimate to. It's been a while. He's been, WWE to death. So I think that's going to be something a little bit different for him to kind of get out of. But I trust someone like Jeff is going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah, he definitely seemed. But I said it seemed a slow start. But I said they finally got poetry in motion towards the middle of the match. Things were moving a little more smoother, and stuff like that. Then we get to the Dr. Britt Baker. DMD. Taking on, I should have reversed. So yeah,
Rosa, like that.
She had the mariachi band start off playing.
She was
came out.
Whole ass mariachi.
And this time, for the first time, I don't remember the pay per view. I can't remember, but she had her whole face painted for this match.
Scary. It was scary.
And again, so I was talking about the cage. So like the very first cage I used was Cody versus Wardlow, and that cage literally fit against the entire side of the ring.
Yes,
like, that was it. It literally fit to the side of the ring.
Yes.
The second cage they used was at the pay-per-view, and I want to say it was similar, but I can't remember. It was a tag team match. Do you remember? We watched it.
It was this. See, so what I've been hearing is, which I didn't notice. I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
This cage, the one that was off of a hard cam. So this one on this side, like here's the stage. This one was up against the ring, like straight up against the ring. The rest of it was open because they walked around it.
Yeah.
I don't remember how the pay-per-view was though.
So see what I was hearing, and it's what a lot of people were saying, which I didn't really notice during the matches. They said it was a smaller ring.
It definitely was smaller. I
They
noticed
said the ring was probably 16 by 16, and that cage was built for 18 by 18.
Okay.
So that's why you had like this weird enough room. Like you can kind of walk, but you couldn't. Like
Yeah.
you had to kind of like shuffle.
So like I noticed it in what match was it? What match I was like, it looks like a tiny like the area looks smaller. It reminded me of like watching like Dark Elevate or
Which I
Dark where
think
they
that's
use it
part
in
of the
Orlando.
Hardy's issue there.
It was the
Like Jeff
hardest.
takes
It
it
was the
because
hardest match I
Jeff was
noticed.
like trying to figure out how to hit the whisper in the wind, or not
Yeah.
the poetry in motion, because usually he hits a certain amount of steps, hits Matt's back, and calls it.
Mm-hmm.
But he like really had like judge it, and that's why I said like when he said he looked off because I think it was because they said like that's a struggle.
Yeah.
Like I
It
heard
looked
that they were saying one time with the 16 by 16, Eddie Guerrero was like overseas doing a match, and it was a 16 by 16, and
mm-hmm.
he's used to like 2 steps, and he'll hit you with his forearm,
Yeah.
and like that's the correct way to hit. They said, but with the ring being smaller, he didn't judge. It was harder for him to judge his opponent, and he hit the 2 steps forearm and broke the dude's nose, like without, but it wasn't like meant that way. But it just was.
Yeah, exactly.
The
I
ring
noticed
isn't
it.
the way the proportions are off. I don't know why you would make it smaller, but
I don't know if this couldn't fit it in the arena. It may have been that match, or it may have been earlier with the Moxley. Maybe the Moxley match is what made me realize that they're on the outside. And I was like, that looks like because like the fans were like that gap there was definitely a tighter gap too.
So maybe it is just the arena there. They couldn't do an 18 by 18 ring or something.
That was my so that was the only thing about the ring. But they got the chairs. They did the chair spot. They did a couple chair spots. They did a thumbtacks. They brought that back.
Yes. We had thumbtacks. We had that. The craziest chair spot was when
Baker.
Britt built the pyramid and then got put
Fell
through
on.
it. And but like it was oddly sturdy. It was sturdy. Like I kind of thought like all those chairs would go down with her.
Yeah.
And she like bounced off that.
I think she was thinking that too,
Yeah,
because that back chair slid with her. She fell back, and that looked painful as. Oh man, like just
because it looked. I thought that Rosa was then going to jump off the top rope and like hit her with a splash or something. But I think because the chairs never went down, she had to like jump off and then do a move. Like she couldn't like literally.
Then after that, is that when she picked up and like one knee power bombed her into the thumbtacks?
Woo, yeah, I didn't know for a minute there. It looked like she kind of lost her footing.
I don't know
like,
if it was that or she stepped on a thumbtack and it hurt.
Something like because like when she went up, all of a sudden that one knee was like not today, and like. But it kind of looked cool because it looked like it was a harder slam.
Yeah, because then like I think
tacks.
it was either after that or like before that in the corner, like they hit each other, and I think like you were saying with the ring depth and the perception of it being smaller, I think one of them hit the other a little bit off. So like they were giving each other sort of a receipt, but still like, hey, listen, we understand that, and like the corner of spot like looked it was a little off, and they were like trying like figuring it out, like maybe talking, but not talking throughout the thing. And it was a phenomenal match. Again, still the top 2 women's wrestlers in AEW right there.
Oh yeah.
Putting on 2 of the best matches ever, the Lights Out match and probably the best Hell in the Cell match we've because the cage wasn't there, and steel cage match I think we've seen. And listen, the Bucks and Lucha Bros put on a phenomenal tag team cage match. But like this is definitely by far the best singles cage match. And they definitely harken back to the
unsanctioned match.
The unsanctioned match.
Yeah.
Quite often.
So I honestly I think at this point, as weird as it is, I think Britt Baker's best matches are hardcore matches. No, like she's willing to take the crazy bumps. She's willing to do more wild things to get, her and Thunder, but I think Thunder's a better wrestler. I think that she's a better wrestler at the moment, and she'll put on better matches. But I think big time matches, you can always count on. You can count on Britt to come through in big time matches.
Oh yeah.
But I think Thunder Rosa is going to have better overall.
I mean, we're going to see a great, I think, one-on-one with her and Serena Deebs when Deeb and Hikaru finish up.
Yeah.
I think Britt Baker was a phenomenal champion. I think they had a great match. She had some great matches in there, but her title reign was tainted by always interfering and never actually winning a match. And
Right.
I mean, which I get. Like that was the heel move they're playing off on. Like I understand it. But I think we're gonna get a lot more. Like you said, I think we get a lot more wrestling matches out of Thunder Rosa's title reign, and some great matches again with Deebs. I think Sheeta will be back there with the match. I think you're gonna see Red Velvet. I think Ruby Soho will be back in there in that lineup again.
And then plus whoever is brought in. So I think you're going to get a good run regardless out of whoever pulls this out. Yeah, man, this was a hell of a Dynamite. It's cool to see the women's division is going to get a little bit of a freshener now with a new champion, and you're going to have a babyface champ. So your
I just
opponents
want
will
to see
be fun.
storylines carried out without the title. Like I would like to see, like again, you have Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida, their storylines being carried out, and it has nothing to do with the title.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have something hopefully with Thunder Rosa and somebody else. You can get Britt Baker into another feud with somebody else at this point.
Probably with Hayter. You can finally pull the trigger on that and break that duo up because she needs to be her own self. So, but yeah, so it was a hell of a Dynamite, a championship Dynamite. I don't know what that belt is. I've never seen it before. It's
The
stupid.
champ, the championship with the champ. All right.
Stupid. When they get the TNT championship,
like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Yes. The champ is here. Will always be here, right here, no matter what.
Like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Twitch. If it's YouTube, click the bell for notifications so that you know when we go live. Normally, our human asses like to put out more than one video a week. But so normally we'll get 3 to 4 videos.
Hopefully,
and
we try to get 3 to 4 videos.
Yeah, we will try
to.
Maybe you might just get a rapid fire of them.
Maybe we'll bring you some gaming content as well soon.
Yes,
we can hope.
WWE 2K22 is purchased.
You're gonna look out for the GM, where I will put my title on the line any day of the week against Jeff, whether it's in AEW pay-per-view matches or even in my GM mode. I will still be the champ no matter what. Get it right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But guys, we're gonna get the heck out of here because we've literally talked your face off for almost an hour. So let's keep this sucker under an hour. Ryan, it was a pleasure.
As always,
is there anything else you need before we get out of here?
Nope. Let's get on out of here. We will see you guys in the next one.
All right, flippity flop. Flippity flop.